Welcome back to the Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. And this is our third week of doing a audio and visual version of the podcast here on the Kempire Radio Network and Kempire Radio YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on my facial expressions. So every week I'm like, okay, what do I want to talk about? Because I want this to be a different experience for you than what you get on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. But a lot of you say, we don't care. We just want to talk with you. We want to see more about what you're doing, what's going on in your life, what's going on in topics that we haven't talked about on the channel, like the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation. I'll be honest with you. I've been following the story here and there. I did one report on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel talking about the forensic psychologist basically diagnosing Amber Heard as, what did she say she has? She has borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. I'd never heard of histrionic personality disorder. I do remember my SAT word histrionic, but I didn't know there was a disorder connected with it. So there's a lot coming out from this case, so many different things. So this is part of the reason why I haven't really dug deep into it. And if I did, I'm sure you guys would love me to. But first of all, some of you said it's too dark. Some of you said that it's all right. There are a lot of really great legal minds that are covering this case. And there's so many lawsuits that we've been already covering. Last week's episode was you get a lawsuit, you get a lawsuit, and you get a lawsuit. But there's still more coming out from Nene's lawsuit against Bravo, Truly Original, True Entertainment, Andy Cohen. She's also accused Andy Cohen of taking her radio program. Okay, not taking it, but preventing it from happening. So apparently she may have been in talks to get a radio show on Sirius XM. You know, Radio Andy's on there. And allegedly, she's saying that Andy told the people over there that she's going to ask for a lot of money. And why shouldn't she? But it also sounds like something that Andy might say. What in the name of Monique Samuels? Andy, though, is what welcomed a new baby, Lucy Apple Juicy. No, the baby's name is Lucy. And I did say congratulations, and I didn't shade him once when I did that video. So congratulations, Andy. A lot of you, some of you guys are shadier than me. Some of you guys are mean. Some of you were saying, oh, he's got 2 kids and no man. Come on. I mean, there's some things that I think that I just don't say. Oh, wait, I just said it. Either way, look, we're in a different day and age. And one thing I have to give Andy credit for, he was one of the people moving forward here in New York, surrogacy legislation. So he might be someone I thank later if I decide to have kids. So him and Anderson, they got their own children. Something, I don't know, like I'm happy for them, but the part is also like, interesting. When I'm 50, I don't think that's going to be something that I'm going to be thinking about. I better start thinking about it now, though, if I really want to make it happen. But I think that was something that they've always wanted. I can't say that I've always wanted kids. I don't know if there's ever been a moment where like, oh my gosh, I want to have kids. There may have been one moment where I was like, it'd be interesting to see what I could create. You know, the science experiment of it all. Look, where are we going? Oh yes, Nene's lawsuit. I'm going to rein it back in because I want this episode to be all about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives specifically, but Real Housewives of Atlanta because a new season is upon us, season 14, and there's a major shakeup. A lot of the people that we know and love are gone. Porsha Williams, Nene Leakes, they got rid of Cynthia. I saw a blind item. I don't know how true this blind item is. And it makes me think it's either Cynthia or Porsha. And they were saying that this housewife, this peachy housewife, is upset that she left her job and left it for a man. So for me, it's sort of like it could be either or. It could be Porsha or it could be Cynthia because they both just got, Cynthia just got married. Porsha is engaged. I see their antics on social media, y'all. I can't, to be honest with you, every time I look at that relationship, I just see it as fake and phony. So I can't even take it seriously. I don't report on it unless something major has happened, but nothing major has happened. They're just, quote, enjoying each other. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't mind if both of them came back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But from what we're hearing, they weren't needed for this season, according to Kandi. But speaking of Kandi, I did a video just the other day talking about Carlos King. You know, he has his podcast, Reality with the King. You're welcome, Carlos. And he had Sheree on. Perfect timing for this new season. And he asked Sheree, you know, how do you feel about Phaedra coming back? According to Sheree, she actually suggested to the producers bringing Phaedra back. And Carlos was like, oh, what was their response? Kandi has made it very known, most recently made it very well known, if they decided to bring Phaedra back, that's when she would be out. And so many of you said, so? And then I have to remind you, it wasn't just like Phaedra was talking about someone's husband or spreading a rumor about someone's husband or spreading a rumor about a fellow housewife. She literally said that Kandi was tying people up in a dungeon and slipping them stuff. So these are some serious accusations. And I think so many people have such short-term memories, they don't remember the actual accusation. They just want to be entertained. So like, bring Phaedra back. I mean, bring Phaedra back so what, she can lie to us again? Phaedra did lie a lot. That's the one thing about Phaedra. She lied a lot. She lied from the very first season she was there. You remember the Phaedra math? I literally watched that scene again. I was like, this woman think we all are fools. Nene was like, shut up. Remember that? I was like, damn, Nene had some classic moments, man. And Sheree had some classic moments. Carlos asked Sheree about the time Nene wasn't not on the guest list. Was that on purpose? Did you leave her off the guest list? She confirmed for the very first time, yes, she did. Because they literally almost had a physical fight before this. So, and that wasn't captured on camera. So Sheree doesn't get enough credit either. And I'm glad they spoke about this on the podcast. Sheree doesn't get enough credit. People so ready to write Sheree off. But every time Sheree comes back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, it's so refreshing. It's so renewed. Even the last time that Sheree wasn't on the show, I mean, when they decided not to bring her back, I was like, why? She was the bone carrier. She had some good stuff. I know Tyrone was in the phone. From what I hear, Tyrone does make an appearance this season. I don't know if it's on the phone or in person. I hear it's in person. I guess he got permission from parole. All right. Regardless, I'm excited to see Sheree this season and see what she's going to bring. We hear, of course, there's a fashion that's going to be coming. We hear that she's getting involved in situations, her against Drew. I just don't feel like Drew is a match for Sheree Whitfield. But based on what I'm hearing, for those that have seen the first episode, they haven't sent it to us. That's okay. We'll judge them accordingly. I don't need to see the first episode for me to watch this show. Thank you very much. But from what we're hearing, a lot of the new housewives, Drew, Sonia, new peach holder, Marlo, are bringing it just in the first episode. From what we see in this first episode, we're going to get Marlo's big gala event to celebrate her archive. And of course, everyone's like, okay, so what is this? Is this clothes that she has? Like, if it's anything to do with Marlo, it's always going to be somewhat like, okay, but what is this? Like, I think we have an idea of what the archive is, but part of us is still sort of like, how else do you make your money? This can't be the only way. And every time she tries to explain it, I'm just like, girl, just no more. I don't like when people lie to me. So I just rather you not say anything. Just like, all right, let's move on. I don't want to talk about it. Sheree did say in this new interview with Carlos King, Lisa Wu does come back. We already saw this in the trailer, and she had to check someone. Do you think it was Kenya? I have a feeling it was Kenya. Because who else would have been? Maybe it's Drew. Oh, damn. despite how people say, oh, I'm not going to watch Real Housewives of Atlanta anymore, people are going to watch, people are going to judge, and people are going to hate watch. I'm not. I'm excited for this new season because there are some major changes here. And yes, we're getting Marlo, but we're getting Marlo in a different capacity. Now Marlo has her peach. And part of me feels like I'm happy for Marlo. I've always said, and I'm not going to backtrack and be like, oh, now you changed your tune. No, I've always said Marlo didn't need a peach. Not for me. I didn't see the need in giving Marlo a peach. I felt like Marlo brought it as a friend of. She set the standard for a friend of. But now I'm interested to see how it's different. I don't want it to feel like desperate. I don't want it to feel desperate, like, oh God, now I have to really stir the pot in order to keep my peach for next season. I guess in Atlanta, being married is not a criteria anymore for a housewife. Remember, that used to be the criteria. Yes, we've had like one or two housewives, or maybe usually one housewife that wasn't married, but we have quite a few that aren't married, right? I mean, I guess Marlo and Kenya technically is still married. She's still technically married. I'm interested to see what Kenya's storyline will be this season. I know Kenya understands the assignment. Kenya will get mixed up in the muck. We already know her big storyline will be the continued divorce. That still is not over. Apparently, he wants money. And her beef with Marlo. But the first episode, her and Marlo are in a good place. I actually like seeing them in a good place. But what would we have if they weren't in a good place the entire rest of the season? Who knows? We hear Drew is in the mix this season. I just don't know if I'm going to fall for it. Even Drew's tagline, I was like, womp, 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 woo, 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 Drew. And I want to defend Drew because Drew is a Taurus like me, but it has not been a good couple of weeks for Tauruses. Amber Heard is a Taurus. She's an April Taurus, which is different. First of all, can we do a little sidebar? Of course, this is our podcast. It's supposed to be a black moon. I know literally when I'm recording this, tonight is supposed to be a partial eclipse. And that might explain if you're feeling a little off these last couple of days or a little angry. But I know there's a black moon coming up on May 16th. I don't know what I kind of know what those things mean, but let me hold on to my selenite. For those that don't know what selenite is, it's a crystal. It's a self-cleansing crystal. It can cleanse your crystals. I take my black tourmaline, which is for protection and some other things, and I put it right up against that so it can cleanse it. So let me do that right now. I always I got crystals on my arm. I got some malachite. First of all, malachite. I've been leaning towards green a lot lately. I love me some green. And then I have my black tourmaline bracelet. All right. I always got a crystal near me. Oh, I love my crystals. They're from the earth. Just saying. Let's talk about Sonia Richards-Ross. So Sonia, has been doing the promo. This is her first time being on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is her freshman season, but she's not a newbie to reality TV, and she's not a newbie to entertainment or the public eye. As you know, she is a 4-time Olympic gold medalist. I just don't hope she doesn't run that into the ground. I want to like her as a fellow Jamaican, but even her patois, I'm just sort of looking at her like, is she like Jamaican, like she was born there, or is she a Jamaican that was born here and she has Jamaican parents? Like me. Some people might not like my patois, but her patois seems a little Jamaican to me. Sorry, Sonia. I don't know. It's based off of just a couple of clips, so we shall see when we see her talk more with it. Honestly, when people tell me to, turn on the patois, I don't like when people tell me to turn on the patois. To me, it just comes out naturally. If I'm around family, if I'm in Jamaica, or if it just comes out naturally. When you tell me to put it on, it's sort of like, it feels unnatural. So wait, let's get back into Candy's feelings about Phaedra coming back. So Candy keeps busy. Look, she has Candy and the Gang, and a lot of people are saying we didn't get like a preview. Like most of the time you get a little bit of a preview every week of what's coming up. we stopped getting previews of Kandi and the Gang for a couple of weeks now. And I was like, here goes Bravo just dropping the ball on the show. And their ratings haven't been that bad. I know they're not in the million mark, but they haven't been that bad, especially when you look. Okay, Andy, I'm sorry. When you look at Watch What Happens Live's ratings, they are all over the place. Some days are bigger. It depends on their guests. But more times than not, those ratings are failing. I feel like with Kandi's ratings, they've been somewhat consistent. Okay, they definitely haven't been in the 200 or 100,000 mark. To me, it has such great potential, and I'm excited to see what's to come with Kandi and the Gang. And I've said this before. I feel like this could be the way to sort of send Kandi off of the show, of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and onto her own show. And I don't know if that's been the plan or the idea, because some of you said that I think it's time for Kandi to go. And I could agree. But apparently people say that everyone has a storyline this season. I will wait and see. You know, we will be recapping it on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. But Kandi, and this is why I said it was important to really take notice, the seriousness of what Phaedra did. Kandi, if you've been watching Kandi and the Gang, then you see Kandi takes care of a lot of people. She takes care of her mom. I believe she helps her aunts. I believe she helps her cousins. You know, some of them, she says she feels like she's raised them. I'm sure she means that emotionally and financially. She just announced on her YouTube channel that the house husbands from this new season will have their own little segment on her YouTube channel, hosted by Shamia. She's even given Shamia work. I ain't seen Portia do that for her best friend. As soon as I said, here go Kandi again, giving people work. So what Phaedra did could have stopped the bag for so many people. So many people, not just Kandi. Anyways, moving right along. So the Real Housewives of Orange County is finally over. No more reunions. The only reunions we have to look forward to in the next couple of weeks is the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And look, I've said this multiple times. If you watch my recaps of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, I feel like we're doing a hamster wheel of the same stuff over and over again. I do think this is a solid cast, but I think there needs to be somewhat of a shakeup. Tracy doesn't need to come back. Although I love Tiki, I don't think Tracy and Tiki need to come back next season. We've got to mix it up. And I think that Teresa really feels like she is the queen of New Jersey. And yes, Teresa has carried the show for a very long time, but we are putting too much credit to Teresa, and she's not that entertaining. I've seen a lot more people turning on Teresa than like, oh my God, I love Tree. We love Tree, but we got to mix it up. I wouldn't mind Caroline coming back, but Caroline, you're going to have to answer some hard questions, especially when it comes to your sister Dina and you signing a character letter for her ex-husband that allegedly beat her up via a setup, a burglary setup. I mean, I don't know if we want to get that dark on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So that's my fear. If we do bring Caroline back, that it's going to go there. But maybe we need some clarification. Maybe there's a reason why she's doing the character letter. I can't imagine what it could be. But despite New Jersey having recycled stories and not a lot of the housewives having a storyline, we see you, Melissa, it still did very well. Their season finale was their record high, beating out season 11's season finale. So people are still watching Jersey, but I don't think that the production company or Bravo should get too comfortable with that. We should always be trying to refresh and make sure that this cast is the best. I do think that they have some strong women there. And as I've said before, everyone keeps saying storyline. I don't believe a person needs to have a storyline on Real Housewives or any reality show if they are entertaining in itself. If you're entertaining, you don't need a storyline. I'm looking forward to the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion and to see, from what we hear, you saw Andy, I was like, what is he doing? I saw someone joke on social media saying that that's how he, when he climaxes. And okay, I don't know. I don't care. I don't want to envision that, especially if that's what it looks like, because that just looked. It's one thing to be like, be quiet I think they do this so that he can have a moment, very much like Joe Gorga wants a moment. He's admitted, though, on the Real Housewives of Orange County reunion that he's a narcissist. I know people think he was being facetious. I don't think so. But that was such a weird moment. It's like, okay, all you have to do is cut their mics. Sound people, cut their mics. You can't be heard. You can keep yelling and screaming, but you can't be heard. But I think the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion should be somewhat entertaining. But no word on the Real Housewives of New York. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, there's all kinds of rumors that come out. Now we're hearing that casting, they can't find a diverse cast for this reboot. No word on the legacy because that's not their primary focus, as Andy said in the Variety exclusive. That's not their primary focus. Their primary focus is rebooting Roni. So we hear that they're having an issue finding a diverse cast. Is your casting department diverse? Then you probably wouldn't have that issue. Let's be real. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to find a diverse group of friends here in New York City. Maybe you're not looking hard enough. Or maybe you're just doing this to save someone else's job like you did Kim Zolciak, according to Nene's lawsuit. Oh, somehow it goes all the way right back around. So last week we talked about a lot of different lawsuits. As you know, Blac Chyna is currently suing the Kardashians, and Kim Kardashian had a win this week because they removed her from the defamation charge on this case, but she's not completely out of the liability of the situation. She still has to face another charge that's being accused in this lawsuit. But Kim Kardashian, as always, is making the rounds this week. And it's not about her relationship with Kanye. Everything with Kanye has somewhat been on the low. We hear Kanye is resting up and taking it easy. Who knows? But Kanye was on the latest episode of The Kardashians, you know, their new spinoff that's on Hulu, which I have to say, I kind of like the way that it's filmed. I get why people were like, oh, this is kind of cool, different. It's different perspective, especially with the first episode with the shot where it's going from house to house and through and under and all this. But it does feel like it's very forced. There's a lot of forced storylines. And as I said to you before, if you've been following some of my other reports on this, it seems like they're trying to use the infamous tape with her and Ray J again to launch this new show. I don't care what they want to say or the fake tears that Kim Kardashian wants to pour on the Kardashian show. It seems as if you're using this for some sort of narrative. The latest episode this week, you see Kim, Kanye got me the tape, and you know, and it's this big dramatic scene, and Kanye looks like he is out of it. He just got off a flight with a suitcase with a laptop, and everyone's like, the other version's in the cloud. How do you know this is all the copies? They don't know. They don't know that for sure. And I know some people are like, oh, you hate the Kardashians. Have you seen my reports when I was covering the Kanye stuff? Some people were like, oh my God, you're paid by the Kardashians. Pick one, y'all. My goodness. No, I report when one's a mess, I report when they're a mess. When another's a mess, I report on the other's a mess. Kanye, blink twice if you need help. I was very concerned for him in that footage. Right? He might be socially awkward. Well, Kim made a big deal about that. Well, Ray J, when that clip was on Hollywood Unlocked's Instagram, chimed on and he was like, this is all untrue. This has to stop. So I'm not sure what Ray J is going to do next. I don't know if he's going to do an interview. I don't know if he's going to take legal action. And we still don't know what part of this is untrue. What the laptop she received with this tape is untrue. What's untrue, Ray J? The only person I would believe in this situation would be Ray J. Honestly, ain't that a blip? He's the only one I would believe in this situation. And part of me wants Blac Chyna to win, to be honest with you, even though she is a situation in itself. Because do I think that the Kardashians did try to cancel Rob and Chyna? Yes. Do I think that the E would have given them a second season, even if the ratings weren't that great? Even if the ratings weren't that great, because it's Rob Kardashian and because it's associated with Keeping Up with the Kardashians, they would have given that a second season if Kris Jenner said, let's go. Come on, let's be real. So it will be interesting to see what the final decision is. I thought maybe we would get a final decision on Friday. The only decision that we had was that Kim was removed from the defamation portion of the case, but the jury was still deliberating. And some of you are saying, if they're deliberating for this long, this is not an open and shut case for the Kardashians, despite the Kardashians trying to get this dismissed, saying that, Blac Chyna has not proven her case here, especially with her terrible accounting. We told you, she says that she hasn't paid taxes in several years. She doesn't have any bank accounts. She might have a lot more to deal with after this lawsuit, because the IRS are listening. And if they are not listening, Kris Jenner called them, allegedly. I hope she has a good accountant. I really do. But you just never know with people like Blac Chyna. Do I think that Blac Chyna was sort of like, I'm going to get in here and I'm going to become the next Angela Kardashian? And she tried to change her name. Yeah. Before she got, she tried to trademark that name, but she never got married to Rob Kardashian. I do think that it was a ploy to get to Rob, but maybe because Kylie took her man, allegedly. All of these people were on the stand. It was like, damn it. And from what we hear, Blac Chyna is filming her own reality show that will document all of this. So that will be interesting. The Kardashians are going to mention this I'm sure it's not on this season 1 of the Kardashians. It'll probably be on season 2. I just watched the first episode. I didn't even watch the first full episode, to be honest with you. But I saw there was a scene with Khloe Kardashian and funny voice Tristan Thompson. He has such a funny voice. I never really heard him speak until I saw an episode of him on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, the final season. And I said, why he sound like that? Why? I mean, he already kind of looked doofy. Sorry. Can we talk? I mean, he definitely does doofy behavior. And then she talks about, we're not together, but, he really wants to be with me. We're trying and we're figuring. Again, it's the same. It literally, the only thing that looks different from Keeping Up with the Kardashians and what we're watching now with the Kardashians is the cinematography. It's the same stuff they're talking about. And we don't care about Kourtney and her relationship with Travis. I don't care. Kourtney, you are such a non-motherfucking factor. I don't care about your relationship with Travis. We've been friends for a long time. And I was thinking, when we first hung out, like he didn't want to make a move. So I was like, I don't give up about you and Travis. I really don't. So you can already tell I didn't watch any further of episode 1 or the other episodes. I've seen clips when I have to report on news, but it's the same show. It's just a different platform. It's a streaming platform, which is smart business. But a lot of people are like, why would you feel the need, Kim Kardashian, to make a storyline out of this tape again? You are a billionaire. You talk about how you're busy with your 4 kids and you have the Skims and you have all these businesses. You would think that, first of all, a lot of people are like, why are you even still doing reality TV? So many people want to use reality TV to launch into other things, and they have. And they make plenty of money in other places. And I know you're thinking, yes, but they're still able to use this TV platform to continue to bring in that money. But how much money does one person need? Well, it is what it is. I think I am fully done with talking about the Kardashians. Let's talk about someone else. So this is why I'm probably going to leave TikTok altogether. I know it sounds very dramatic, and I think a lot of people are like, why announce it? Why announce it? Because there are a lot of people that moved from YouTube or Instagram to follow me on TikTok to do our live watch parties of reality TV shows, or just to get under a minute recaps. But I've seen so many great creators, specifically Black and brown creators, leave TikTok in the last couple of years since I've been on it. That's where a lot of the emergence of what I do came when I was posting on TikTok. And then I said, you know what, let me start doing longer form videos on YouTube. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity, and I was excited about what TikTok was doing. It was a whole new realm of of a social media platform. But I've seen things over the last couple of years that I haven't liked, and that is the extreme censorship, the banning of accounts unnecessarily because someone reported it, but you didn't look into it. And then people are waiting days for you to review their appeal. Seeing a lot of Black and brown creators get ripped off of their original content. And I was like, oh, this is horrendous. And I stand with the other Black and brown content creators, but I had seen some of this happening, and they literally have on their website a way that people understand how they should credit content creators. Until this week, until you guys, shout out to you all, letting me know that there was a content creator, I'm not gonna even call them a content creator, a spam account, because it doesn't have a face. They don't create their own content. They are literally taking content from my page and posting it on their page. And they're actually getting followers. And I can see the comments where people are like, what is this? This is old news. Mind you, it's my face that's being used for this. So people are, first of all, it's not good for my brand. Secondly, you're posting old stories that I posted probably last year or a couple of years ago on your account, but you're still gaining followers from that. So, I'm all about citing your sources. I'm all about reposting certain things, but I always try to give credit. Okay. But I also don't fill my account up with someone else's work. And that's exactly what this, although small account, but I see the potential, and there's a lot of confusion from a lot. It's like, I saw this story come up and I was just like, I got a few different messages from people about it. And I was just like, all right, let me see what I need to do, because I never had this issue before, specifically on TikTok. So first of all, I reached out and reported the account. And first of all, I had said in the comments, please remove my content from you, but they didn't stop. So I reported the account, and then when I saw nothing had happened, I asked you guys to report the account, and all of you were tagging me saying, they're saying it's no violation. They're saying it's no violation. And I'm like, no violation. So TikTok approves of people stealing people's original content. This is not reposting of, a reality show. No, it's my original words, my face, my content, my thoughts, my editing being used on this other account that doesn't have permission to use my information. And we could say a lot of things about YouTube. YouTube is not perfect, but no company is going to be perfect. And I understand that. But TikTok has been having a lot of issues, especially when it comes to their content creators. But let that happen on YouTube. All I would have to do is copyright. That is my copyright. That is my original, content. And TikTok, I've reached out on Twitter. I've tagged them in TikTok comments. I've went through their support thing. I've emailed them, and I received no response. I've even had a business meeting where I brought this up in a business meeting, and I said, can you guys do anything about this? And they were like, that's just a company that there doesn't seem to be any sort of contact. So I'm just letting you guys know. And I will spread the word. More than likely, I will be removing my content from TikTok and bringing it here. This is where I really should be putting my focus anyway. My bread and butter, the reason why I was able to leave my job is other social media. TikTok was great, but that was never paying me. The brand sponsorships are what pay for those that are trying to get a better idea of how this works. Brand sponsorships pay way more than what TikTok was trying to pay in their creators fund. I ended up leaving the creators fund. The little gifts that people, buy in purchase, you get a very small percentage as a creator there. And a lot of people are like, oh, should you do the creator fund? Based on being a part of the creator fund for over a year, I was like, I really didn't make much money off of that. It wasn't really worth my time. And now with this whole other issue, and there's a lack of support, and I've heard other content creators like, well, once you get an email from someone, then you have a contact. It should not be desperation, or you have to reach 1 million followers that you have a contact over at TikTok. You have a serious problem, TikTok, and I'm letting the world know because we report on pop culture. So this is a pop culture situation. And I reported before, TikTok became the #1 website, most visited website last year. And it probably still is over Google, which is the owner of YouTube. Well, you know what? I believe in the power of us, and I'm going to get the word out. I do not support TikTok anymore and what they're doing over there, because they are not supporting the people that make them who they are. And that is the content creators. This is bigger than me, because as I said to you before, a lot of people were in my comments saying this has happened to someone else. And I figured it was like, you know what? That means they're not going to resolve this issue, that people can just take your content and repost it. And like I said, it's not 1 or 2 videos. It's a whole onslaught of videos. He or she probably just posted a video as I'm making this video. So that says to me, there is no protection in regards to my content on their platform. And I am seeking legal counsel in regards to, once I do remove myself from this platform, if someone decides to repost my things there, I'm doing what I need to do, because we talk about copyright. We talk about protecting what we do and owning what we do. TikTok right now, based on what my experience, is not protecting what you're putting on there. Okay. As I said to you before, YouTube's not perfect either. And there's a lot of stuff that can be improved, but let this happen on YouTube. That channel would be down, okay, within the day. You guys always ask for a different experience here, so this is what I'm giving to you. I was like, what do I want to talk about this episode? Yes, I want to talk about some reality TV. What's going on in my life this week? Not a lot, because you know I work a lot. I did some home improvements this week. Not me personally. I had someone else do it. So not a lot happened this week, but before you know it, it's another week. Another week is over. Another weekend is here. But that was the drama of the week, this battle with TikTok. But really, it's not a battle, because TikTok is not responding. TikTok, are you there? I've tagged them on multiple platforms and no response. If you guys want to tag them about this story, feel free. I don't see anything happening. And that's unfortunate, because they're making millions of dollars off the backs of content creators, and they are not supporting or protecting their content. It is what it is. I just know what I need to do. That was the first inclination that said, well, take yourself off of there. You don't provide that much value to me. So if you don't provide value and you're not willing to protect what I'm putting on your platform, deuces. Guys, as always, I love hearing your thoughts. I hope you are doing well. I hope you're enjoying the podcast, the visual version, the audio version. Don't forget to rate and review on your favorite podcast platform. And while you're watching, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Kempire Radio YouTube channel. This is where you can see the podcast version. Almost a week later, I posted. A little bit less than a week later, I posted here. So don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss out on any.